Ready. Everybody good? All right, I'm here with Trooper Muniz and Lieutenant Utermark of the State Police to talk about an incident that just occurred in the city of Hartford. It all began at New Park Avenue. We got a call at 1:55 p.m. this afternoon for a report of gunfire and a party shot. Officers were pretty close by, responded pretty quickly. We're able to locate a victim, a male victim in his 20s, suffering from a non-life-threatening gunshot wound. From evidence collected on scene and from information obtained on scene, there were two vehicles involved in the shooting. Both those vehicles fled the scene. They ended up on Interstate 84 eastbound, where there were some shots exchanged between the two vehicles. There was another vehicle that was not involved that was struck by one of the vehicles. One of the vehicles has since crashed. Two parties were located inside, unresponsive. I'll let Trooper Muniz talk about the state police part of this investigation, but as I said, so we have an incident. We have two locations. We have one on Newfield, one on State Police. Hartford Police Department is taking the Newfield Avenue investigation, the shooting. State Police will be taking the incident that happened on the highway. It'll be sort of a joint investigation between the two of us.
Trooper Pedro Muniz, Pedromuniz. So approximately 2 p.m., as the lieutenant was stating, we received a call of an accident with possible shots fired. Upon arrival of our troopers on scene, it was confirmed that there was shots fired between two vehicles. Two parties were injured. One was fatally wounded, and another was transported to an area hospital. The status or the extent of those injuries are unknown at this time. One of the vehicles did flee the scene. The scene is still very active. It's a very fluid scene, so we don't have the information of that vehicle right now, but we will be getting that information. As soon as we do, we will provide that info out to you guys. Also, we just want to make sure, or we want to let our motorists know that there is a lot of traffic. So all the traffic is getting diverted off of exit 46, Sisson Ave, and getting brought back onto exit 48. We also are aware of a concert at the XL Center tonight, as well as a Yard Goats game. Our troopers and detectives are doing the best they can to process the scene as quickly as possible. But as you're aware, it's a very fluid investigation. So give us some time. Expect some delays as you are traveling tonight to whatever events and areas you're going to.
Any questions? I know it's a lot.
Lieutenant, is it New Park or
Newfield Avenue.
Newfield Avenue.
I know it's still early, but at this point, do you think this might at all be related to the previous shootings we've seen?
I can say pretty confidently that it's not.
It is not.
It is not.
So were the two cars like chasing? Was there a chase, or were they firing shots while they were driving?
The information that we have at this point, again, is preliminary, that they were shooting at each other on the highway. We don't have evidence that they were shooting at each other other than the incident itself on Newfield Avenue in the city of Hartford. But again, that's still under investigation. Detectives are still out combing the area. So
it began on Newfield Avenue.
Correct.
They got on the highway, and then they were firing shots.
Correct. That's the information we have at this point.
Do you know how long, like for how long of a stretch on the highway they were?
I mean, you can imagine the Flatbush on-ramp to where the highway shut down is not too far. So
Did any other
less than a mile.
Less than a mile. Okay. Did any other cars who were in the area were they struck by gunfire at all?
Not that we're aware of. We had again at least one vehicle that was hit during this by one of the two vehicles involved. That operator had minor injuries. So to our knowledge, no other vehicles or motorists have reported gunfire damage.
And were the two people that were struck by gunfire in the same car? Were they in the same car, or were they in opposite?
They were in the same car. Yeah.
And one is fatal and the other is?
Correct. Again, Hartford Police is investigating the Newfield Avenue. State Police is investigating the highway. It'll be a joint investigation. They'll have access to our resources, our cameras, and anything they need with our detectives.
So, Lieutenant, I think the question that a lot of people probably have is: this is now 7 homicides over the last 5 days. What's going on?
It is the exact same question we have. This is highly unusual. I mean, last year was a big year. We're already ahead of where we were at this time last year. We didn't start off that way. It's a little sad that we ended up this way. It's a question we want to know. And like I said, we've had, like I've been saying, these attacks that we're seeing are up close and personal for the most part. These are situations that at one time would have been a fist fight or an argument. Now it's going right to gunfire. That's something that's very hard to trace. We've had domestic homicides this year. That's very hard to predict. It's strenuous to say the least.
Is it gangs? Is it drugs?
It's
all of those things.
It's all of those things, and that's what makes it tricky. There's things you can predict. There's things you can plan for, and there's things you can't. And as we saw last night, we put it out today. If you saw the level of violence that was displayed in the city last night, it's terrifying.
Had any idea of what type of firearms were involved today, or how many shots in the case?
I'm going to keep that to myself for now, okay?
How many homicide victims now are this year?
In the city of Hartford, we're at 27.
27, and so this is up from this time last year. Do you know off the top of your head how many we were at this time last year?
25.
Any reason to believe this was like a road rage incident, or do the people seem like they might have known each other?
Again, I don't want to speculate. Anything's possible at this point. We still have a surviving victim that hopefully will speak to us. Maybe he can answer those questions.
And I did just want to ask you, I know in the shootings that are all connected, not the Newfield Ave one, but you mentioned the word block switches or something. You know, those are pretty easily obtainable, aren't they, to retrofit any gun?
Unfortunately, they can't retrofit every gun, but I don't know if the chief told you this morning, but from the homicide last night, we recovered 101 shell casings. That's more than I've ever seen on the scene, so clearly dangerous. So that's why we put that flyer out, that informational flyer. Again, we're asking for the public's help. We've been asking for it. You know, only so much we can do by ourselves. There are people out there that know who those individuals are. There are people out there that know what's going on. We need them to call us.
And I would imagine, just as a law enforcement agency, I mean, you guys probably aren't armed and equipped to deal with that much rate of gunfire.
The average officer at any given time, probably not. So not only is it a danger to the community, it's a danger to us as well. It's not something that we take lightly.
You talked about the victim who is suspected for food to survive.
Mhm.
How important is it for that person to cooperate with police as well as community members so that you guys can find the people responsible?
Again, we can't do everything ourselves. We depend on cooperation. We don't always get cooperation, which is unfortunate and sad, but that's the reality of it. Let's hope he cooperates.
Just to clarify, how many people do you think were in the other car? You said there were two and one that crashed.
Again, I don't want to speculate until we know those things. And the truth is, we just don't know right now.
And the car that fled the scene was the other.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So we believe at this point 2 vehicles involved. Trooper explained what happened on the highway. Anybody else? All right, guys.